the whole line again.
Does this make me look horny? Hi YouTube, this is Paul from Paul and Shannon's Life. Today I'm going to be doing a video on why we decided to adopt a plant-based diet or lifestyle. In future videos I'm going to be talking about some of the benefits that we have experienced, some tips for eating out plant-based, some recipes, also just snacks and taking stuff to work. How you can do that, how you can maintain being plant-based away from home. Pardon me. But this video is going to be why we made the choice to switch over to eating plant-based as opposed to the typical American diet. Before I get started, I want to show you a couple things. These are books that kind of helped us get familiar with what being plant-based was. Forks Over Knives. I have actually told you that we watched a video earlier this year, or a DVD, earlier this year, right before Valentine's Day, called Forks Over Knives. That was actually their cookbook. And the other one is the Engine 2 Diet by Rip Esselstyn. Those are like just two books that you probably have seen out somewhere that really raise the awareness of plant-based alternative to eating. So anyways, that's really how I got exposed to the idea of plant-based eating. I've already said that we watched a DVD prior to Valentine's Day this year called Forks Over Knives, and we were just watching some food shows on Netflix. We have a subscription to Netflix, streaming some food shows. We watched Food Inc. and just some other things. And for a long time, as a family, we have known that we needed to change what we were doing, whether get more exercise or eat better. We probably needed to do more of both. But it was always something that we were going to do next week, simply because we're both approaching 40 years old. As we have gotten older, the motivation to get up off the couch has gotten a little bit harder to do. Maybe you can relate with me. Maybe you're young enough that that's not a problem yet. You'll be there soon. Anyway, no, I'm just teasing, hopefully. Anyway, I've got notes here just in case I keep looking down. You'll know why. Something that kind of jumped out to me in watching Forks Over Knives is they did a little cameo of a mixed martial arts fighter on the UFC circuit named Matt Danzig. Also, I'm a huge NFL fan, love watching football. When that's on, there was a running back last year, Arian Foster, from the Houston Texans. Sorry, I always say the Texas Houstons, but there is no such thing as a Houston, I don't think. Anyway, Arian Foster, star running back, one of the league leaders in rushing last year, and he was eating a plant-based diet as well. So the media has made a big deal about this. I bring those two guys up because when I think of alternative to the typical American diet, I start automatically getting that stereotypical image in my head of some really skinny, hippie guy wearing Birkenstock sandals and hugging trees, and that's just not how I picture myself being. So seeing these guys who are professional athletes in very physical sports, performing at peak levels, really kind of motivated me to learn a little bit more about it. Now, like I said, my wife and I were both approaching 40 years old. Over the years, we have experienced, just decreased energy levels. The idea of sitting on the couch and watching TV is a whole lot more appealing to us than actually getting up and going and doing something. And we were starting to feel the effects of those choices long term. Just kind of to tell you where I was at and why I knew we had to change something was I wasn't sleeping well at night. I thought I was, but really when I was waking up, I just wasn't feeling rested. I knew that I was tossing and turning a lot at night. If I had to get up during the night, then I was having a lot of difficulty falling back asleep. Like I said, over the years, I had noticed that losing weight was becoming more and more difficult. I've always been blessed with a very high metabolism, so in my younger days I was able to eat as much as I wanted, and it never really stuck with me. But once I crossed over that 30-year-old threshold, my body just did a poorer and poorer job of processing what I ate. So I began, gradually gaining weight, and that was something that was getting harder and harder to lose. My wife and I were also both experiencing, a lot of feelings of, or a lot of lethargic feelings. Lethargy, I guess would be the word. Where, like I was saying, it was very difficult for us to, want to do things, that required a lot of physical activity. The idea of sitting on the couch was a whole lot more appealing than getting up and doing things. And really, we were kind of looking forward to a certain time of day when a local restaurant would do what they would call happy hour, and they would do all their soft drinks on sale half off. So between 2 and 5 each day, we could pretty much set our clocks by it. We were going to this restaurant to get a 44-ounce soft drink, root beer. And basically what that boils down to is we were self-medicating ourselves with sugar and with caffeine, just to kind of fight those feelings of wanting to take a nap or needing to go to sleep at mid-afternoon time. And that influx of sugar and caffeine would get us through the evening, so we could cook dinner and we'd get through. But really both of us, what we were doing is we were fighting the instinct to go take a nap or go to sleep until it was bedtime, and then when it was time to lay down and go to sleep, we were having trouble sleeping, probably because of all the caffeine and sugar we eat. So anyway, so we knew we needed to change something. We knew we needed to get healthier, not only individually but as a family. But like I said, because it was difficult to do, it was always something that we were going to do next week. Continuing to do the same thing we'd always done was kind of the easier thing, so that's just kind of what we ended up doing. So seeing these alternatives to that gave me really, especially seeing these guys, these big, strong, physical guys in very physical occupations, performing at such a high level, really gave me a lot of motivation and a lot of encouragement that there is an alternative. So we decided over the course of a couple weeks of discussion, between seeing the DVD and actually deciding to do this, we decided we were going to give ourselves a 2-week challenge, really. That for 2 weeks, we would eat nothing but whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and nuts. We decided we weren't going to cut oil out, or we decided we weren't going to cut peanut oil out. Anyway, so for 2 weeks, we didn't eat any of the stuff we had in our freezer, any of the meat, or any of the dairy or cheese, or any of that stuff. And our pantry was just full of stuff as well. Because really, what we've, like I said, we've tried different things before, and we've always gone back to the way that we'd always done things. So we decided to give ourselves a 2-week challenge where we said, okay, we're going to do this for 2 weeks, and let's just see how we feel. Now, after 3 or 4 days, we were ready to start throwing stuff away because we noticed so many dramatic changes that we just couldn't think about. We couldn't really see a good reason to go back. Now, having said that, that's going to be the topic of future videos about some of the benefits that we have realized, as well as some tips and everything to help you make the transition if this is something you're thinking about doing. Now, if you've got any questions for us, for either me or Shannon, please feel free to write in the comments below, and we'll try and respond to those as best we can. But if this is something you're looking at doing, I do recommend you do some research on it. Find some reasons why it's important to you. Just because it was important to Shannon and I to do this doesn't mean that it's something that you should do or that you even want to do. But if this is something you're interested in and we can be of any help, please let us know. Anyway, until next time, I'm Paul, and I'll see you then.